All right, welcome to another episode of the Quarter Notes podcast presented by Los Cabos Drumsticks, Canada's #1 drumstick manufacturer. Now, before we get too deep into this week's episode, I just want to remind everyone that you can follow us on Instagram, and that handle is at LCD Quarter Notes Pod. You can also send us an email to lcdquarternotes@gmail.com. Do the like, subscribe, what's the bell notification, all that stuff on the Los Cabos Drumsticks official YouTube page, because that's where all these video episodes will find a home, I guess. And we also have everything on Spotify. This new batch of episodes with myself is on Spotify as a video format as well as audio. And I do plan on getting all the previous episodes from last season with the video versions as well. But for now, we do have all the audio ones up there. Okay, so enough of all that. Let's get to this week's episode, and it is an amazing conversation. My guest is the multi-instrumentalist for his side project called Stars Unhinged, but you would all know him as the drummer for Canadian punk rock icon BIF Naked. He is the always smiling, multi-talented Chiko Misomali. We talk about the importance of having a positive attitude and just being a good hang. I mean, if you want to have any kind of career and longevity in this industry, you've got to be somebody that other people want to be around. So we kind of get into that. We get into his growing up in Vancouver, his love of Alex Van Halen. And I mean, who doesn't love Alex Van Halen? I mean, come on. So strap in, get ready to laugh, and take in some of the positivity that is Chiko Misomali.
All right.
Like I'm hearing it go off every 5 minutes.
And you're hearing it?
Draining the water. I'm like, oh my God.
I always get weirded out because I'm in my condo right here and my studio's on the second floor, but it's open to the living room down there and it's 24-foot ceilings. So sometimes, I got natural John Bonham reverb in here.
Nice. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
That must have some killer drum sounds.
Yeah, well, except for that, I'm using an E-kit. So yeah, sounds great.
Sounds great. Sounds just like Bonham. I just gotta hit the preset.
I gotta dial in slate. Wow.
Yeah.
Black Album, Metallica, Black Album.
That's snare drum, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, thank you for agreeing to be on the podcast.
Oh no, it's all good, man.
I know we've been chatting back and forth I think I was gonna have you on my other podcast, which has now kind of become this podcast.
Yes.
And then so anyway, so yeah, it's really good to finally converse with you quasi in person.
Yeah, you too, man.
I remember when we first started chatting, we were talking about James Bond movies.
Yeah.
Because the last Daniel Craig movie had just come out.
Love him.
I probably not the most popular opinion, but right now I think he's the best Bond that they've ever had.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you.
Would he be your Bond? Like who's your Bond?
It's definitely him. I was more, I guess I was the Roger Moore Bond because that was kind of my era. And then, it hit I think Timothy something or another was in there. And
yeah, he did like one or two movies.
Yeah, I think so. But then when it went to Daniel, I was like, whoa, this is what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah. Like when I first got into the Bond movies, it was in the 90s, it was Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I remember watching him on Remington Steele. So when they cast him as Bond, I was like, well, yeah, duh.
Yeah, it's him.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, the Daniel Craig, just that whole story arc, and not spoiling anything for anybody that didn't watch it yet or whatever, but it was just a good send-off to that version of him.
I was kind of teary, man. I'm not saying anything. I don't want to wreck it, but I was like, see, I think last time I saw him, I watched all of them, all in a row. It was my last bout of COVID. No, it was the one before that. And I actually watched, I watched every one of them. and right till the end. Before I watched the last one, I said I'm going to watch every Daniel one, and then I watched that last one there.
I even went to, because we have I forget what streaming service it is, but it had all the Bond movies. And I was like, I'm going to start from like the very beginning. And I got halfway through the first movie, and I was like, I can't watch it.
Nope, not doing it.
just can't watch it anymore.
No, I am done. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna adjust for my low light.
So are you like a big movie nerd? Like, are you like into like all the Lord of the Rings and the Star Wars and all that stuff?
Honestly, no. I love all the Star Wars. I probably did not really watch TV. I wasn't much of a TV, viewer, watching TV series and things like that. And the very first series I ever watched from beginning to end was Breaking Bad. And
Really?
that was I watched it after it was over.
Yeah.
And
I watched the first 2 episodes when it started, and then I just kind of was like, well, why didn't he just take money from his brother? Like,
yeah, I guess. Dude, I'm gonna make it easy on you, right? Yeah,
right?
I was
just take the money.
Just take the money. It's strange because I don't know. I'm that kind of guy that always finds something else I could be doing. So the commitment, a commitment for me in the series, it takes a lot, because I'll start something and I love it, and I'll get 3 episodes in, and then I'll just, no, I have something else I have to do, or I should be doing this, I should be doing something, and I just kind of stop.
And then the next big series comes out, so you're like, oh, I'll start watching that.
So many I have not seen. I haven't watched. I hear I have to watch The Sopranos, which I've never seen.
Never seen an episode.
And I've never watched the dragons and what's that?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Never seen any of those. But I've seen Ozark, and I've seen Breaking Bad, and so I like them.
I have to watch Ozark. I listened to Jason Bateman's podcast that he does with the other 2 funny guys, Smartless. Yeah. And they always talk about Ozark and how great it is. I'm like, I really need to watch that.
It is. It's good. It's really good.
Yeah, my wife and I just finished watching Fallout on Prime that just came out, and we watched the whole thing in like 2 days.
Yeah, I just started it.
Oh, it's amazing.
I'm like, and it's funny because I'm also not a video game player. No. Like, I don't play video games, and I know it was a video game, but I thought I like anything that looks good in 4K. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I'll watch cricket. I don't care what it is. If it's in 4K and it looks awesome on my TV, I'm going to watch it. Yeah. So I started watching Fallout, and that is amazing. I really like that.
You should watch The Last of Us. That's another.
Okay. I love The Last of Us. I loved Narcos, and I loved Mandalorian. So I figure, I can't remember the actor's name, but
I think you've got a Pedro Pascal man crush.
I think he's my dude.
But I mean, I think everybody has a man crush on him.
Yeah, everything he does is gold.
Yeah. All right, we're going way off. We could talk this all night long. Okay, so let's get back to you.
As there's a little stormtrooper figurine right here.
Oh, nice. He's trying to water the plant, but he always
exactly. Yeah, it's looking a little dead. He's not doing a good job.
No. So you're in Vancouver, right?
I'm in Vancouver, yeah.
Okay. You're not originally from Canada, the West Coast?
No. I moved here. I moved here from Glasgow when I was when I was 10 years old, about 9 or 10. Actually, I think a little, close to that. And we moved here, and I started school here in Vancouver. Glasgow, Scotland.
Scotland. Yeah, why did I think Ireland? Okay. So you're a Scot.
Beers, maybe? I don't know. But my dad was from Malawi, East African, and my mom was from Burma, which is Myanmar now. But they met in medical school in Glasgow, and from Glasgow to Vancouver, and I'm still here.
Still here. Yeah. I mean, the West Coast is beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty, it's 19, 20 degrees today. I mean, it could rain tomorrow, don't get me wrong, but for right now, it's wonderful.
For right now, it's great. Yeah. I've got family up in Prince George.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So I was able to visit there twice. Both beautiful.
In the summer?
It would have been right after college had let out. So, it would have been like early June.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That time, because we got let out early. Because we had everything done. And we're just like, well, we're not going to wait around for, 3 weeks to just collect a diploma. Just send it to me in the mail. I'm good. I'm gone.
Yeah, exactly. See you later.
See you later. And we took the train, me and a buddy of mine, we took the train from New Brunswick all the way to, we got as far as Jasper.
Yeah.
And then they were having problems.
Yeah.
So we had booked the Canrail Pass. So it's like dirt cheap. You don't have a bed. You're just in the chair the whole time. But,
Yeah.
you know, when you're 20 years old,
You don't care.
two shits, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we got as far as Jasper, and then they were having train problems. So we spent the night, and then we went up hiking up in the mountains, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Ran into two German couples and another couples from, I think, the Netherlands. And we just had a picnic on one of the rivers or lakes or whatever, just in the middle of the woods, walking by a bunch of elks and whatever
It's pretty
else.
insane. It's pretty insane.
Yeah. And then we got on a bus the rest of the way because we're like, well, we're not waiting 2 days for a train to not move because they were having whatever mechanical issues. Yeah. But beautiful. Loved it.
Love it there too. I remember my first time in Jasper. My wife's cousin used to live there and owned a restaurant up there. And first time I went there, you know, we'd stop and I'm at a stop sign in the car and there's like moose and there's goats hanging off the mountains and stuff. Wow, what a trip. I was like shooting shotguns and stuff. I was totally hillbillying out. I loved it.
Oh, wow. That's taking it to the extreme.
And Prince George, you know, I played up there quite a bit. The casino, the generator, all those crazy places.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. The generator, I remember my brother was like, well, we got to go out on the town while you're here. And since he's 9 years older than I am, so we never got to like hang out like as adults.
Yeah.
So he's like, we're going to go out, we're going to go hit the generator. So I remember going there.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. What a club.
Yeah.
I think they had it mixed up with the meat market.
Yeah.
It was a lot
You're like, you know, let's hang for a while, but you know, if it gets rough, let's just get a 6-pack, Coke and Ease and get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. So do you remember like growing up, do you come from a large musical background? Like, are there trees of music running through your family?
No.
Not at all?
No, definitely not. I think it hit me school, music classes in school.
Really?
That's really what kind of got me in there. But of course, I started playing guitar.
Okay.
And and there was always music playing, but there's no other musicians really. My dad played good, but my dad passed away when I was 3 years old. That's why we moved here.
Okay.
And so, you know, it was never around for me, but he was a guitar player.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, it's just school music class.
Yeah.
I think they're a wonderful thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's like no music classes. I don't know about out west, but out here on the East Coast, there's no money put into the music programs.
Into the arts, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah. Like they have
that's why there's so much crime these days, kids, you see?
Well, I mean, we joke, but it's true. Like,
yeah.
You need hobbies, you need things to do outside of just
boosting cars.
You know, and then there's the socializing part of it too, right?
Exactly.
Like, you know, a lot of kids, I mean, I have a son that's sitting probably playing on his PlayStation right now in his room. Like that's their socializing is through a headset versus actual social interaction.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty good with like, because he, you know, has a job and he goes out and, you know, so he does get some one-on-one interaction.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as when we were coming up as kids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it really isn't.
Like you don't come home until the lights come on outside, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up in downtown Vancouver. So right now it's the West End and it's nuts. I think it's nuts when I go down to visit my mom. But when I was in school back there, we used to play hockey on the street. Like a small town. Mm-hmm. Now it's just a gong show. I drive halfway down there. I'm like, that's it. I want to just go home. But yeah, we'd get up in the morning, we'd go, and it's like, be back before it gets dark. That's what we did.
Yeah. No, I remember those days. So guitar was your first instrument?
It was.
Like
I really
like the big classical nylon string. Yeah. I remember that in school too.
And my music teacher, Mr. Taylor, he was a huge Beatles fan. So everything was the Beatles. So I wanted to be Eddie Van Halen, you know? I
Yeah.
didn't want to play, you know, when I'm 64. You know, I can still play like a D minor and a C and a G. You know, I've got like four chords in me, and that's all I have. But I remember there was actually a couple of drum kits in our music class. You know, at the very back of the room, there was four little rooms with the doors, and there was a drum kit. I used to just go in there, and I just started beating on them.
Mhm.
My music teacher opened the door, and I thought, that's it. He's gonna boost me out of here. And he goes, "What are you doing? Dude, what are you playing?" I was like, I don't know. This is like a police song or something. He goes, "How'd you learn that?" I was like, "I don't know. I was just listening to it because I never played before." He goes,
Yeah.
"You're not on guitar anymore." I said, "Okay." So that's because I just used to, I would just listen. Like I have a brother that's 4 years older than me. So I think he had like Van Halen 2 and like Black Sabbath albums and Deep Purple, you know, all these albums that I just would listen to. And I sat down and I was like, oh, that's how this goes. And I was off that guitar.
Just figuring it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of figured it out.
So it came
So
pretty natural, obviously.
I think it came pretty easy. But the
Yeah.
problem with that is that I never took any lessons or I never learned. And I don't fancy myself really a drummer. Just kind
Hmm.
of fancy myself like, I like music, man. You know, I like playing songs. I know just so many amazing, great drummers that spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of time playing um, by yourself and learning and practicing and rudiments and all that kind of good stuff. I had a kit set up in our old house in my basement, and even at that time, my wife would call and say, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm downstairs." She goes, "Oh, you must have the pledge out cleaning your drums," because I never went to play. I would just go clean them. But when my friends came over, we'd go and we'd jam all night.
Yeah.
So I want to play songs. I just don't really want to play drums. I just want to,
Yeah. I'm pretty much exactly that because I never like I have a practice pad.
yeah,
It's sitting in a grocery bag somewhere
yeah,
upstairs by my TV. Like,
yeah, yeah,
I never take it out. I could come down here into my basement and set it up on an actual stand and work through stuff. Never do. Only time I practice the drums or anything drum related is when I'm in the room with my bandmates and we're
yeah.
going over songs,
Playing songs.
just playing songs.
Yeah,
Which I mean, I kind of would like to learn that discipline
yeah,
because there's certain things like you hear in your head that you're like, oh, this would sound really cool, but then it's a matter of okay, developing the muscle memory and the speed to do certain things.
yeah.
But I play punk rock. It's
You
it's
know,
I don't need all that blishugadum,
I,
whatever they're called,
I
right?
I leave all that tool and all that other stuff to the other guys. I know
Yeah,
so many drummers around here who just play the hell out of stuff. I'm Tommy Aldridge, Phil Rudd, man. You were That's where I'm going.
yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
And that's what sells, and that's what gets you gigs,
yeah.
is
And
being able to do that.
there's a little stuff for everybody. Here, you
Yeah,
can have that hardcore schooling stuff. I'm not going to suddenly sign up a Capilano with the jazz program, and it's not.
yeah,
I like playing songs.
yeah. Songs are where it's at.
Yeah.
Um, so now you've been playing with Biff Naked for quite some time now.
Yeah. We started, in 1992, which is kind of crazy.
When
We
you
had a
joined the
band.
band, you mean?
We had a band together called Dying to Be Violent in
Oh, so okay.
1992.
So you and Biff go back
Uh,
before Biff
yeah.
Naked.
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of crazy, right?
That's
So
nuts.
yeah, and some of the songs on our first EP, actually, the first song on our first EP, Four Songs and a Poem, the song's called Make Like a Tree. That used to be my drum solo in Dying to Be Violent, because my friend brought over his Roland SPDX, like Octopad, and he had a Kai S9 sampler or something, and he had these keyboard hits when you'd have the horn hits, and I was horn hit, and that actually turned into, because Biff started singing over it, and that ended up as the first song on that first EP of hers.
Wow.
So we go
So
back a long time, but I've been back in the Biff Naked fold since, I think it's 2014 now.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Biff Naked started in 92?
93, I do
90.
believe. It was
Okay.
92, 93-ish. And because we were Dying to Be Violent for 90, 92 to 93.
Okay. All right. So what made you go a separate way? Like, were you in a different band or just
Well, we were a band already, and she had another different band. She was in I think Chrome Dog at that time. And my band, who we lost our singer, we were rehearsing, and at our rehearsal space, it was all, a band called Annihilator and Devin Townsend and all these, Annette Ducharme, all these Canadian bands rehearsing. And he brought her down, said, hey, there's a band over here. You guys want to record some stuff and do an EP? And we went on, we played a few shows, and it just, it just didn't work at that time for that band. And because I guess the band that I was in, I was not a leader in that band at all, put it that way. I was like 10 years younger than everybody. I'm just like, oh, let's play a song.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay. And then, so then you rejoined forces with her in the BIF Naked brand or band.
Yeah.
So how,
because
how
we've always been friends.
Mhm.
And one day, just sitting back, and I get a message. It must have been like Twitter or something like that. And said, hey, you want to play a couple shows? And I said, sure, that'll be great. She goes, awesome, it'll be fun. I'll send you some dates. I said, okay, sounds great. 2014,
And it's like a whole tour itinerary?
Yeah. We've been going for 10 years. That's my couple shows in.
A couple shows in, yeah. But it's clear, like, because I don't do a lot of research for this show, obviously.
Good.
But I mean, I do, obviously, I follow each other on Instagram and stuff, and I follow Biff, and I see posts that you put on there and posts that she puts on her own between the two of you, and it's clear that you guys are very close as people, like brother and sister kind of
Yeah,
thing.
we're pals, definitely pals.
Yeah.
She moved from Vancouver to Toronto, and 3-4 years ago. And it's kind of funny. We're so fun and stupid together. When I go to Toronto, I stay at her place. When the band comes to Vancouver, they all stay at our place. It's like we're one of those kind of bands, we just kind of all hang. Hey,
it's a hang, yeah.
It's a hang. And a lot of times if we go out to Ontario, like I know I'm not playing till July 6th, but it's like, hey, you got to come out a few days early. We're going to have a rehearsal, but that's besides the point. Really, we're going to go and get some Indian food. We got to go to this Caribbean place. We got to go here, and we all just go and hang out, right? So, yeah. So
that's awesome. And that's what creates the longevity and also the chemistry on stage.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than going to a show and seeing people look at each other when they have like a bad note or so. Like, you can tell the bands that kind of laugh it off and have fun at each other's expense and have that good time vibe on stage.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like that's what makes a show.
I think, a lot of people say that's not most, but that's a lot of, what they like about the show. She jokes a lot because she talks, I mean, I talk a lot, but she talks a lot on stage. So she tells her stories and stuff. And while she's telling the stories, talking to Fury or Peter, we're just sitting there doing stuff, and she'll usually look at the crowd and she'll go, they're complaining I'm talking too much behind me, are they? And we all cut each other, we give each other the gears, and that's from just actually being friends and not just, we're not like Oasis. Wow, great show, mate. Here's my money, and big fist fights backstage.
Yeah.
But
see you in 3 months.
That's right. We've had things where somebody kind of screwed up on stage, and you're sitting there playing, and you hear something, you're like, you look over, and then, up until the next show, you're just like, so listen, that Spaceman, we changing that to like a 5/7 or something? Because it was 5/70 tonight. Should I count 4 and then we start? Or do you want to wait for 6 and then we start on 7? I'm not sure. Do normal or what you did tonight?
Let's just wing it. We'll just feel it.
Yeah. Hey, Chiko, what's a tempo? Whatever I started at is what tempo's at.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Charlie Watts.
That's right. Hell yeah. Yeah. No. So I think we're definitely more. I mean, maybe there's a lot of bands like that, but we're definitely more than just. Even though we all live in different cities, like all of us live in different cities. We're definitely much more friends than bandmates. I'd never introduced any of them as my bandmate,
Yeah,
No,
Same.
this is my homie Fury. This is my homie Biffy. This is Pete, man. That's it. It's not like
Yeah.
this is my bandmate guitar player. That doesn't even factor. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. We joke a lot, like, they'll say, oh, yeah, don't mind him. He's just our drummer kind of thing. But it's all just in, ribbing each other. Same thing with,
Absolutely.
like, with Sean. Oh yeah, well, he tries to play bass, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's,
See, we could all tour together because you're just like us.
yeah, well, hey, make that call.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, like, because we've been friends since we were in like middle school, high
Yeah.
school. Like me and Jack, we were in like our first bands together as kids, and then life went our separate ways, and then we came back and formed this band, and then Sean, our bass player, he was playing in other bands when we were kids, like in that circle of terrible teenagers trying to play music together, right?
Yeah.
Doing it yourself, putting on shows in backyards and basements or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was more playing in metal bands and stuff. And then when we started this band, we were just the two of us kind of doing like an acoustic duo, which
your best acoustic punk favors here today.
Yeah, right, exactly. And then Sean was like, "You guys need a bass player." And we're like, "All right."
Yeah.
And then he's been in the band ever since.
And he's been in. Nice
and
work.
then we've since, we plugged in our instruments, and now we're, doing the 6-gun smoke thing, which it's a little heavier and louder, which
well, it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a great time. And we had one sound, and then we kind of were like, you know what, let's not pretend that we're this sound. Let's actually be true to our roots and where we come from.
Yeah.
And then from that day, well, we had a different band name. We were called the DiBiases at the time.
Yeah.
Like Ted DiBiase.
Like Ted DiBiase.
Yeah. But then as soon as we made that, okay, like, no, let's wash our hands of that. What do we want to play? And then since then it's been 6-Gun Smoke, and it's taken off.
Yeah. Awesome.
So
and which city are you in?
I'm in Miramichi, it's a city, but it's like, it's one of those cities where it's all just a bunch of towns that amalgamated.
Town, incorporated towns.
Yeah. It's like right in the middle of the province.
Right.
Yeah. An hour and a half from Moncton.
Hour and a half from Moncton. Okay. Perfect. I know.
Yeah. So just to kind of go back to Biff herself, I've always admired her, from when she broke onto the scene with BIF Naked back in early 90s. And she always had that thing, like, you can't really put your finger on what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not in the inner circle, but what, as her friend, what is it that makes her light shine so bright? Like, what is it about her that she has?
You mean besides her drummer? Not just joking. I don't know. Some people just have something. Some people you gravitate to. Some people make everybody else feel good about being around. It's got to be something like that.
Yeah, because she's always looking out for other people. There's so many causes that she's supporting and trying to lift up and raise awareness for things. And like her social media, she's always with shirts about something that needs attention. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And it's real. We've walked through airports as a band, walked through airports together, and we're going to go catch a flight. And she might see, a dog, someone's dog over there, and she'll walk over. Suddenly she's gone. It's like, what's going on? Our flights. And she's like, what's your dog's name? How old's your dog? And it's just like, it's not like like a fake thing. It is just really, I think it's just some people are just like that.
Yeah. And that's when, like, when it's genuine.
Yeah.
It's not put on. It's not, trying to do it for, just for something to put on the socials or draw attention to, or, it's in a giving way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I think a lot of stuff, see, my Instagram, I post all our stupid stuff, like all the stupid shit we do, like the dumb things, and someone just, no one's all dressed up and made up like their, hair and makeup has gone through. See, I post that because she doesn't post pictures of that. It's usually pictures of something else or somebody else's cause, something, whatever. Yeah. And, me, I'm like, she knows. like something just stupid. So I don't know. I think it's just kind of a natural caring for other people,
Yeah.
maybe without
You're,
trying.
you're like the yin and yang, like you're that full package.
I think so. Yeah, like a couple of 4-year-olds on sugar.
Yeah, right. And that's the best kind of 4-year-old.
Yeah, why not,
Especially,
eh?
especially when it's not your 4-year-old.
That's right. That's right.
Just pop them full of sugar and hand them off.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, it's good because it's got to be fun. Like, I mean, it's got to be. I mean, it's always good to go out and play. Like, I'll never complain. But I mean, there's sometimes where, you know, you fly out somewhere, you get to sound check, some stuff is not right. And I've been doing fly-in shows for the last 6 years. So I didn't see my own drum kit for 2.5 years. Didn't even see it. So everything was back on. There was a kit everywhere. I don't really care. Like, I mean, I'll work it out. I'm not one of this, oh my God, the angle is 88, degrees. I like it at 90. I just like, is this fine? Yeah, it's good.
Yep.
Let's go. Yeah, it's fun for me because, like I say, I don't practice. So sometimes I actually have gone to, a kit setup somewhere and played it and it's kind of wrong. And I was like, damn, I kind of like that. I make a note. I'm going to let me try that when I get in. But, but it's everything's got to be fun. Because there's times where you get there and you play a show and then you check in a hotel at 1:30. We've had like a 3:30 like lobby call to go. So if you're not with a group of really fun people, man, you just kind of really don't want to do it. It doesn't it doesn't matter how good it is,
Some really long days if you're not.
So you got to be around really chill people and fun people and have a laugh and stuff like that. Or even if you're just hanging out. I mean, during COVID, we had a few shows canceled on us and we ended up sitting in Edmonton for 3 days, just sitting at hotels and, doing nothing. And at least we have somebody to hang with. I'd go for a dog walk with Biffy. Fury, our guitar player, one day he's like, hey, have you seen this Squid Games? I was like, we should watch one. So we watch it. We sat there for 3 days, just watch the whole thing. We're like, I love this. So, you got to just have people you can hang with. And anyone can hang out with anyone in this band, which is kind of cool. If I'm like, I'm just kind of chilling out, or Fury will go out, or somebody. Everyone just goes and does stuff, except we don't go Fury because he runs marathons all the time. And his thing of excitement and enjoyment is getting up and running, 20 kilometers. Hey, you want to go for a little? Nah, I'm running down the snack bar. I'll see you when you get back.
Yeah. No, thanks.
Yeah.
But also with that is that you guys know each other well enough to respect each other's boundaries, because everybody's got shit days.
Exactly.
So to be able to be like, no, bro, I'm good. And not, be like, okay, Chico's having a bad day, or Biffy's not feeling too good. So, take that space and come back to it later. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Because especially when it comes to singers, like any singer, if you're playing a lot of shows for a while or you're not getting a lot of rest, and it's easy to fry your voice. But sometimes we have to consciously think, hey, let's not, be as stupid as we normally are, because she won't stop talking. And then it's going to make the voice maybe even worse because, I'm the first to put in yacht rock in our vehicle and just have, Doobie Brothers sing-alongs for 4 or 5 hours, and I'll do it, but I don't have to sing that night.
Yeah, right. Yeah, those 4-part harmonies, man. They'll
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I'm sure she's taking the high notes.
And she's taking the high.
Yeah. So what would be your favorite song to play on stage?
I think I'm probably looking for it's Tango Shoes for some reason. It's an easy tune, but it's like you just see everybody light up when it starts. It just starts and everyone goes and they have a great time. They sing the whole thing. We laugh a lot. I think we also laugh a lot because, about 10, 11 years ago, I quit smoking cigarettes, right? So I quit smoking. So during that time, I thought, I'm going to start vaping. So I got myself a vape and I got all these different flavors and all this kind of crap. And I ended up and it was mango. So I really dug it. So for a while we'd go to rehearsals and we'd be playing, and I'm doing, my Michael McDonald background vocals, and instead of singing, my tango shoes, I'm singing, my new mango juice. So now even when I'm playing, and I still hear my new mango juice in my head, and we just have it. So everything about that song for me is fun. The crowd, the thinking of the mango juice, the laughs, the where we stop and you hear everyone go tango, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, that's probably the most fun.
And the 5-minute story that Biffy would say ahead of the song.
5 to 6 minutes, just like.
It gives you time to pull on that mango juice.
Yeah, exactly. And the only good thing about that is that that's one where everybody's kind of on, because I counted it 1, 2, we went again. So, everyone's actually going to watch me instead of just like, I'll count and they're like, yeah, whatever. I'll start strumming when I feel like it.
Count again in 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that one is great. And it's always, we pretty much end the same way with, Tango, Spaceman, Love Myself. So that whole last 3 is just a lot of fun anyways.
Oh, yeah. It's like the crowd gets built up to that frenzy at the end where everybody's jumping, everybody's singing, everybody's having a good time.
Absolutely. And it's weird. By the time we get to the end, that's about the time where all of us usually go, I wish we could go like another, maybe another hour after that. Because you hit this. And I just want to keep playing after that.
Yeah.
I definitely play more.
By then you're warmed up, you're loose.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go. Yeah. The vodka's kicked in.
How long is your set? Is it like an hour and 20 or?
It's usually, it depends. It really, if we're playing our own shows, we joke that we played about 2.5 hours on one of our last shows, and I don't even remember where it was. Saskatoon or something. I can't remember where it was. Winnipeg, maybe. I can't. But we were probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and we're like, geez, we're getting up to like 3 hours here. Like, we really could. We just start pulling songs out of there. But usually it's the same 70-minute or 90-minute, because a lot of festivals are pretty restrictive on that.
Yeah. We're doing a 45 to an hour.
Yeah.
Of all originals.
BIF likes to talk so much that when we're playing a festival date, we're like, okay, you're gonna have to talk less, or we're just gonna have to cut some songs. And one of them, all I know, sometimes we get there, we go, hey, 5 or 7 to 6 something minutes. Like, we don't cut the last 3, put it that way. We're always negotiating in the middle of the set how much time we have left.
Yeah. So you also you have a side project, or Stars Unhinged.
Stars Unhinged, my side hustle.
Yeah. So you're not only drumming, you're producing, you're doing guitar tracks, your keyboard loops.
I love that. Yeah. And I got just really some of my friends who were around, my friends JB and Mike, and they were doing a lot of different things in different bands, and Mike came in, started laying down guitars, and JB is a great singer. We just kind of it was really just supposed to be a little writing project. And we just started writing tunes, and I actually really enjoyed it because I actually started, buying studio gear and learning Logic and, that kind of stuff. So we pretty much did everything in my place. Started in my house and then ended everything here in my apartment here. But I love doing it. Like, I could spend forever doing that.
Yeah. Like, do you have any education training background in like the whole production engineering thing, or that's just all kind
YouTube?
Yeah. YouTube University. UTY.
It's always on. And we basically put everything there. We actually did a 10-songer, and we released a single and then another single. We have a whole album that was done. And then COVID was, around. And then once things picked up, the problem is that you want to get out with your band, you want to go play all summer. And as soon as summer comes, I was basically gone all the time. So it's just a really long process. So I'm just like, well, I might as well just release a single every couple months, and maybe one day we'll have the time and be able to go out and actually do something. Yeah.
Because then you did a cover of Tokyo Rose, which is
did a cover of Tokyo. I love that. That was cool.
That's a song that people don't pay much attention to anymore.
Yeah, it's weird, right? And it's a great song.
It's a great song.
Yeah. So it's tough. I wish I had more time, and I wish everybody had more time, but it just is what it is. But I really enjoyed just kind of putting everything together right up until mix down. And then with mixing, I sent it to Doug Fury, who's the BIF guitar player and who's also the BIF. He produces all the BIF stuff and he mixes all the BIF stuff. And so I was like, yeah, Doug, can you mix us stuff? Make it sound huge, like huge. I want like a, Dr. Fielding kick drum. And, he does a great
I need more
job.
snare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, can you turn down the Saint Anger snare on that a bit and put in a little more Alex Van Halen to it?
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to get a guy like Doug because I come from the Alex Van Halen, Stuart Copeland. These are the two biggest idols I ever had, and they both had very unique cracking snare sounds. Yep. So I basically tracked like that and gave it to Doug. And he's like, "Yeah, no, man, you're gonna have to change up that snare sound." I was like, "You think so?" He goes, "Well, if you want to be like new, you want to fit in a bit of a fold. You kind of want your levels to be where everybody else is. You're gonna get lost if everything is just like shine down
up.
Yeah. And then suddenly you've got this whole police sort of cracking snare with this and so I learned to give up certain things. I'm not precious though with any kind of drum tracks or anything. I just kind of play the song, whether it's my project or even in the BIF band. Like the new album sounds killer to me. I wish everybody heard it already, and they will eventually. But even I listen to it now and I'm like, holy crap. Some of the songs are going to freak people out. They're not going to believe that. It's actually the BIF band doing, it's really cool. But now I'm like, I did my tracks and sent them to Doug, and Doug will call back and go, dude, sounds great. Can you do some big fills and kind of this part in here? And I'm not normally that guy. Like live, I'll just do whatever. Yeah. But in the studio, I was like, okay, you sure you want that? He goes, try it out. And stuff that I never would have even tried. And I tried it. Now I listen to it. Yo, I got to check out this fill that's coming up. I thought of it myself.
But that's a good producer, right? Because he's pushing you to do things you never tried before.
Yeah. Not always, hey, lay off the, the ghost notes or anything, but also the other way around.
Yeah.
Because as much as I love like Stuart Copeland, Alex Van Halen, and Nico McBrain and stuff, I'm not really a tom fill guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I do. If I sit on someone else's kit, they got rototoms and stuff, octobans. I'm using every single one, every one of them. I'm gonna play every one twice. But on my kit, I got Bonham kit, and I'm like,
one up, one down. That's
yeah.
That's my bread and butter. I tried adding a left side tom, having two. Can't do it. And then I tried 2 floor toms. No, can't do it.
I use 2 floors, but because I use the one closest to me more often than I use the one in the back, only on the big fills, and I have the China back there, that I use that one so much more that I have my 18 first and my 16 after it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of...
I thought about having one on either side.
Yeah. Somewhere to put a coaster, maybe a sandwich.
That's basically all it ended up being used for is just, put my phone so I can keep track of the time.
Straight, my phone right here.
Right. It's like, oh, we got 5 minutes left, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Or hold on, I gotta answer this tweet.
Yeah. Well, I would love to like add an 8 and a 10, but I play my drums really flat. So if I had an 8, I'd like them nice and flat, almost like the same height as my snare on the left. Like, but there's a lot of stuff that I want. But I love the sound of it. But I don't want to haul it around with me because I gotta ask backline. I mean, if we're going out on a tour, I'm bringing out 26-inch kick drum and Alex Van Halen octobans and let someone else deal with it. But for right now, flying in, I'll just go 1 up, 2 down. Happy.
Yeah. Nice. So who you touched on your 2 biggest influences. So when you were starting to learn the drums, and like you mentioned that you're playing some Police song, who, like, other than those 2 guys, who were you trying to, or who are you listening to like develop your own style? Like, who was speaking to you in that drummer language that you were like, okay, that's what I want to do?
Well, I think when I moved here, the very first concert I ever went to was in 1980, I think it was, and it was Kiss Dynasty Tour. And it was all original members, and I saw that concert. And so as much as maybe Peter Criss wasn't a huge influence on me, Kiss itself was a huge influence on me, just the show, everything that they did. So that really that made me really want to be a musician and be a drummer. But it's when I first heard Alex Van Halen, like that will be my, if anybody said give me just one drummer, it's AVH, definitely.
Wow.
Everything about Alex, I just absolutely love. Like even now, I will listen to stuff he, did 40 years ago. I'm still like, oh, hang on a sec, what is that? Still don't know. You know?
There's still there are guys like that.
Yeah.
Have you listened to Mammoth at all? Wolfgang's project?
Only a little bit.
It's
only a
good,
little
man.
bit. It sounds, and he
played
did all the drums. Yeah.
Not just the drums. He played everything. It's just him.
Yeah. No, I actually haven't sat down and really given it a listen, but I know I'm gonna like it because
it's Van Halen.
It's Van Halen.
It's in that family. It has that. I mean, it sounds unique enough that it's its own thing, but there's so many little pieces that you hear and you're like, oh, he got that from his uncle. Oh, he got that from his dad. It's pretty cool. But it's still him. It's still
I'm definitely gonna get in on that. But AVH still, I still freak out when I listen. But then as when I was preteen, so at about that time when I was a teenager, there was I loved Cozy Powell. I loved Tommy Aldridge. I loved because all the stick tricks, and then there was a lot. And then Tommy Lee came out. I remember going to go see Ozzy Osbourne, and it's like Bark at the Moon Tour or something. And Motley Crue was the opener, which you don't really know. Too Fast for Love was out, and then he's flipping and the sticks, and I was like, oh my god, that's mind blowing. So there's a lot of different little guys that I've seen that freaked out, and I got into a really big, kind of like a funk R&B almost kind of funk stage. But I didn't even know half the drummers, but I know when I listened to Sly and the Family Stone how much I liked it, or if I listened to old Michael Jackson, Off the Wall album, how much I liked it, or Prince things, that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of those kind of drummers that I didn't even know who half the guys were, but I think I probably tried to rob grooves from them and then rob double kick and stuff from everybody else. And I love splash cymbals, and I love little hi-hat, little thingies, and I think I stole all that from Stewart. So I just rip anybody off. I don't give a shit.
That's what we do, man.
Yeah, that's right.
That's all we do.
Yeah, and I played in a Metallica cover band way back then, and the only album was they just released Injustice for All. So it was even pre, it was Master of Puppets, Justice, and
just
Ride the Lightning and stuff.
Yeah. Those 4 albums. Yeah.
So definitely, I'm influenced by a lot of it's always comes back to the same, just bands. I love David Lee Roth, I thought was the best frontman, but I loved Paul Stanley, but I loved everything about, so I naturally loved a lot of drummers because I actually just loved that band as opposed to the, other way around, I guess.
Yeah. So when you go to a show, because when I go to a show, I'm always fixated on what the drummer is doing. So I have to consciously pull myself out and be like, okay, watch the band.
Yeah, watch the band.
Get the whole thing, not just how is he playing that part or how is he doing this. No, watch the whole band. Yeah. And it's really hard for me to do.
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
Right. So how did you come upon Los Cabos Drumsticks?
Okay, how did I? This is kind of a weird thing. I used to use I was using another brand of sticks a long time ago. I mean, from the ages. And I used whatever. Oh, Tommy Lee's playing these new Vic sticks. I'm going to use those with the red tips, and all my hands had pink things all over them, cleaning cymbals all the time. Yeah. And
those were baseball bats of a stick too. They were
massive. I think they're American Classic Metals or something. Yeah. And then American Classic. They were just so heavy, and then I was going through a lot of sticks, and I'd go through quite a lot of them. And I remember I'd go down to my local Long and McQuaid, and they had this bucket of kind of like irregulars. The ink was kind of screwed up, and I remember buying a bunch of them and taking them, and they lasted forever. Those were the original Los Cabos sticks that they used to have down there, who I didn't even know who they were. But I know, and I think I was in NAMM one year, 4 or 5 6. This COVID really wrecked. I can't remember
Yeah,
last
it
time I was
did.
there, but I was at NAM and I saw the booth over there, and I just walked up, and I think it was Steph there, and I
Yeah.
said, I just want to let you know, I was using so many sticks, and I grabbed these not knowing what they were, and I was using them for weeks and going, "What is this?" Like they just never, they didn't break. They felt good. Everything about them felt good, and I just went to go tell him, I think your sticks are really great. And she was like, "Oh yeah, that's awesome. Are you play? Yeah, I play. Can you play?" I said, "I play this Canadian band called BIF Naked," because I always think nobody knows who we are, right? Nobody. And she goes,
Yeah.
"What? Really? Hey, come meet everybody." So I start meeting everybody, and then I'm like, "Oh man, I love these sticks, and I'd like to order some from you." Yep, I signed some papers for I'm ordering sticks, and I've turned so many people onto them too.
Yeah.
Everybody I meet, hey man, you check these out.
Yeah.
A lot of shows, people go, "Dude, those are really cool sticks," because I have the white dip. I have the white dip, and if I'm spinning them, they're shining and everything. And a lot of drummers, when we play shows, I usually give one of the, whether they're openers or even like if when we're openers and we're all headliners, I usually, when he wants to talk to a drummer, "Hey man, it's a pair of my sticks, just give them a shot," just because I like my sticks being out there anyways. But yeah, I know so many people's like, "Hey Chiko, I'm with Los Cabos now, or I use these now." I've steadily gone down, like from the American Classic Metals back in the day. Los Cabos, I got 55 AB because I like in between, and then I went to the 5B. Now I'm on 5As because I actually hit I'm a hard hitter. I'm a full arm Captain Caveman, but really when I come to the hit, it's really just wrists. This is just how I
That's
learn.
just all the show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, so I'm really a wrist guy, but I don't break sticks at all. I use the white hickories, and I just like the weight, and I'm double jointed in my thumbs, right? So my thumbs always fold in. So I found I was having kind of a bit of, not problems, but I was like, forearms were hurting all the time. And I realized when I'm using these sticks, like, the sticks in there, and my thumb would be bending up. So I was using a lot of arm strength to try to keep hanging onto these sticks all the time. So I started going a little lighter, a little smaller stick. And I like the sound of a 5A as opposed to like a 2B. It's even if I'm using, a really deep snare, or if it's tuned low, I'm a rim shot player, so I still get that kind of Alex Van Halen, Stuart Copeland crack with a 5A, as opposed to more of a thud with a 2B, in my mind. Whether translated all front, I don't know, but from where I'm sitting, I hear it.
Yeah,
So
and that's important because what we hear as drummers behind the drum kit is totally different than what is out in the front of house.
Yeah, you don't want to come back there. You'd be very disappointed.
Right? Like, and I don't think a lot of people realize that,
Yeah.
So like whenever we're asking, it's like, how does it sound out there? Or how's this sound? And they're like, yeah, it sounds great. It's like, no, we really want to know.
No,
like,
I really want to know. Because really, I'm listening to tick, 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 tick on one side, and I'm listening tick, tick, tick on the, that was my show. We sounded great, eh?
Yeah, metronome sounded perfect.
Yeah, I know. You tell me.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when so I met Phil and stuff in Anaheim, and that's the first time. And I actually just went up to tell them that their sticks rule. I didn't even know those are the ones I was buying all the time, but they rule. And I haven't played another stick since then. And what I hear now is that more people are disappointed now, because using my busted sticks and the shrapnel sticks, I'd give them away, festivals, all the kids and everyone's very excited. Now they're like, "Give me sticks." I'm like, "No, man. I'm going to use this one pair. I might use it for like 3 or 4 shows." In the old days, I'd go through 4 pairs in a show. So the only people that are losing out is people who used to get all the broken sticks anymore. Now I hardly ever break.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know, right?
Yeah, I try to keep like some rehearsal sticks or whatever in my bag so that I can, hand those out. Because at the same time, like as somebody in the audience that gets a stick, you don't want a brand new pair of sticks.
You do not want a brand new pair.
The pair that they used.
That's right.
Right, because it's part of the show, part of the experience. Whether they used it during that show or not, we'll never know. Like they won't know that I didn't use that stick at that show. All they see is a used stick, and they're like, "Oh, this is awesome."
Yeah.
All right, so I have every podcast has like a quick fire question or questionnaire kind of thing. It's kind of the new trendy thing. So I'm gonna stay on trend.
Okay.
So like these are not really quick fire, but you can You know the deal.
Yeah.
This isn't new. All right. So when you're behind the kit
Hmm.
and you're laying into a groove, what's your happy place? Is it playing on the hi-hat or is it playing on the ride?
I think it's on a ride for me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, yeah, on the ride.
On the ride.
I'm a side stick ride player.
All
Alex Van
right.
Halen.
So getting that those bell accents and
Yeah, that's
yeah,
yeah,
cool.
which is
Um,
great for live, but when I record on drums, it's a little weird. Because when I play like that, it sounds like I only hit my ride, a couple times every bar because there's,
yeah,
you
because it's
know,
not registering
it's not
the
registering the
bell.
other things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what would be your favorite or oldest piece of gear that you can't live without?
I have my pedals. I shouldn't say this with my, Pearl affiliation there, but I have DW 5000 double pedals. I've had, I don't know, they've got to be 15 years old, the same pair, and I use them everywhere and they still feel exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're
So
great.
they're like single chain. They're not even the double chain.
They are no, they are a double chain. They're double
Okay.
chain.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're wonderful. Before they came out all fancy with all the clip and things and everything, they're just nothing. They're just a pedal in a hard case. It looks like it should fit 4 pedals in there. It's kind of ridiculous, But I actually love those pedals.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I fly in shows, they give me the new DW 9000s. Hey, you got some of that old junk there? Is that 5,000 back there? I'll take that.
Yeah. I used to have a 5,000 pedal, and it
Yep.
was like from, well, I want to say it was the first generation or second generation when they came out with the 5,000. So it was just a single chain. It had
Yeah.
like it was like a bike sprocket, like the
Yeah.
bike chain sprocket,
Yeah.
like with the teeth sticking out of it.
Yeah. That's
I had
that's
I had that right up until about 2 years ago,
yeah.
and then I was like, I need to get a new pedal because this thing is like ancient. Like
Yeah.
and it was a hand me down because it was my brother's pedal that he
Right.
gave to me, right? So
Yeah.
now I've got a new Yamaha FP9 pedal, which is amazing, and it feels similar to the 5,000 to me anyway. But
Yeah.
when I was shopping for a pedal, I almost got another 5,000, and I was like, I'm gonna try the 9,000.
Yeah.
Put my foot on it, hit the pad once. Nope.
Nope. Can't do it.
Yeah.
No. I hear I should be trying a Pearl Eliminator or something. I know a lot of friends who said they're really great,
They're
and I
really good
probably
pedals.
will. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good pedals. And you can adjust the weight on the beater and everything, which
Oh
is
yeah.
what
See,
my
that's what.
Yamaha. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can get into the weeds with all the settings with the pedals now. Like it's kind of crazy.
That's the problem. I like a little more simple.
Yeah.
I don't like too many options.
Yeah. You just take it out of the box and play it.
Yeah, I want to just play it, and it's fine.
That-
Oh, maybe just raise it up a bit, but that's good.
yeah.
I used to use the old Danmar beaters on my old pedals with
Those
the
big wooden
wooden
dowels.
ones. So
Yeah.
I'd have bruises on the top of my top of my feet.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you play barefoot?
I do.
Okay. That's another thing that I want to start asking drummers because the whole shoes on, shoes off thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we played a show the other week and I was using my back line and this band that they were subbing in for another band that had to back out. So it was like a last minute thing. It was, call up a buddy and they come in last minute and save the day.
Mm.
So I was like, yeah, just all my gear. You don't even need to bring breakables. You can use my pedals or whatever.
Yeah.
So we played our set and then they played theirs. And I look over at him and not only is he not playing with shoes on, without shoes on, he's like literally barefoot, like
Yeah.
no socks. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, me too. Socks just weird me out. Like when
Really?
playing. Yeah, I'm just
Even with like the 5,000 pedal where the letters are all raised,
yeah.
you don't get
Yeah.
blisters or nothing.
No.
I
No.
suppose your feet are probably calloused and used to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, just stumps at this point. But you know what? When I started learning, I told you I was still in school, and we lived in West End, and we lived in an apartment. Downtown's all apartments, so I never even had a drum kit. So I basically had a pair of sticks, and I had bed and pillows. And I remember my mom said, "You don't disturb the people under." So I took my shoes and stuff off, and I just learned to play. And that's how I didn't buy a drum kit till basically I got out of high school, because I basically just learned everything that I do at home. And so I've always been bare feet. And so even when I started playing shows and rehearsing, I put shoes on, it just did not feel right.
Well, that makes 100% sense.
Yeah, right? It's
right?
not so weird anymore.
It's not so weird anymore.
Look at this freak. Let's start like a GoFundMe so this guy can get himself some shoes.
Get him some drum shoes.
Yeah, yeah, with like the separate toes though, you know?
Yeah. Those runner shoes. Yeah.
Only guy who can wear those is like Carter Beaufort. So that's the only guy I can tolerate. If he wears them, I would start wearing them.
He can do whatever he wants.
Exactly.
So next question.
Yeah.
Do you prefer cake or pie?
Cake or pie?
Yeah.
Cake, 100%.
No, okay.
100%. Unless, well, no, I don't, I'm not a pie guy. I was going to go, you know, cheesecake is called cake, but it's more like a cheese pie to me. Pie. So yeah. Okay. Well, then I'm going cheesecake.
Okay. You're like in the middle.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the middle.
Non-committal answer.
You know, fruit pies, blackberry pies, apple pies, all those kind of pies. No, I'll bypass it.
What about meat pie?
Meat pie. I'm not a meat eater, so no.
Okay.
Fish pie, sushi pie. No,
pie.
I'm just not a. Yeah.
All right.
But cake. Oh my God. Yeah. I'll fight you for one of those tuxedo cakes right now.
Right now. Let's go. All right. So if you could time travel anywhere, so past, whatever, doesn't matter, what event or live show would you want to go to, like to experience in person?
I would probably love to go to Woodstock and see Hendrix. I think that would be absolutely amazing. Or I've got a bunch. They all have to do with that. One of us is going to go see Hendrix. One of them will go to Cobo Hall and go see some of those original Kiss shows. And one of them would be go back to like 1977 to Pasadena, California to watch the original Van Halen playing in backyards and parties and stuff like that. That would make my day.
So what would be your proudest achievement, be it musical or personal?
Oh, man. I don't know. Best is yet to come, I think.
Nice.
I'm just, you know, I'm happy that I can go and play with everybody, anybody, and still someone will call back and go, "Hey, Chiko, I heard you were really good or really chilled and easy in the room." You know, I like being that guy. I don't try to just be the nice guy, but I know it takes a lot for me to not be the nice guy, to be the angry guy. It's just really not in me. And I like when people say, "Hey man, you should get Chiko for this project because he's really chill and he's going to listen, and you know, he's not going to come in with a big bag of cocaine and weirdness. He's just a chill guy."
Or an ego, which is the worst.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. So I think just plays well with others. That's my biggest it's like get along with them. Even if others may be assholes, I'm just like, anyways, they're an asshole, but that's okay. Let's play some.
That's okay. Okay, so this kind of follows into what you're just talking about with, you know, being able to play with anybody. What band could you, if they called you right now and said, "We have a gig, our drummer's sick, you need you here in 30 minutes, so no rehearsal," could you get up and play for?
I think Van Halen, Motley Crue, all that kind of stuff. Van Halen, Motley. Well, I did play in an AC/DC cover band for a while, so I can probably do a bunch of those songs.
Yeah.
But I'm going Van Halen because I live that stuff. Like a Kiss, I think I could probably do almost everything in there.
Yeah.
I'm old school, dude.
Those are some great drum parts too.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
So what drum part or song do you wish that you had been the person to record? So like that credit would belong to you.
Jeez, that's probably what's the title of that song? I think it's "Fool in the Rain." It still boggles me, like that kind of thing. Like I'm not a shuffle guy. I've played some blues gigs, and if shuffles are weird for me, but I hear some of them done really well, or like Rosanna or something, and I wish that was me, because I wish I could just sit down and fluently play that for going, you know, without thinking about it. Yeah. So maybe one of those.
That's sweet. All right. So last question.
Yes.
This could get you in the hot seat with your
Oh,
bandmates.
shit.
All right. So you're on tour, you're in the van,
Yeah.
and there's a CD stuck in the van. What
Mhm.
CD do you not want it to be?
What CD do I not want it to be? I think it's like actual stuff we would listen to, or just anything out there.
Oh, just
Anything.
anything out
Anything
there.
in general.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't really know Taylor Swift. Okay. Like I don't really know, but I know
Yeah.
stuff that I can appreciate everything she does and what people feel. I just don't get it, like me personally. So probably something like that.
Some some pop country, whatever it's called.
Very pop. I surprisingly, if we get to like, I love like Keith Urban and that kind of, even Sheryl Crow, like all that kind of stuff I listen
Oh
to.
yeah.
But the stuff that's really new, overproduced, way too much auto tune, new rap, mumbly
So
stuff.
like Florida Georgia line, kind of like I'd call it like bro country.
I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out.
So
Like where it's like a 20 songwriters in a room, and they're like, okay, we need one instrument, be it a mandolin or a violin or a fiddle, to make it a country song,
yeah,
and then overproduce the shit out of it.
absolutely. And
Yeah,
you're gonna rap very badly, and we're gonna run you through auto tune. And it's just like I am so
yeah.
out. So out, and you can't tell the difference whether it's a kick or a snare because they're both just so peeking at you all the time. Yeah, yeah, that would be it. I think everyone in my band would say the same thing though. Anyway, so I'm
All
okay.
right, so you're okay.
Yeah.
So that's not making it into the CD Rolodex.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we're out. Yeah, we've got a lot of weird stuff that we listen to.
Do you still have like a CD binder, like to take on the road?
No, we all complain about Spotify's and this and that and Apple Music's, but we all have something because
Yeah.
otherwise they're going to be listening from Van Halen 1 all the way up until 1984 of me and Fury. Fury's he's quite a Van Halen fan too, and but yeah Biff, she'll listen to. We listen to a lot of 80s stuff. Like I don't even mean like Van Halen, the Rat, and Motley Crue, but I mean there's like the dance side, Paula
Like
Abdul and
Debbie
Whitney
Gibson.
Houston, and oh yeah, we've got so much of that kind of stuff going on when we travel. It's a bit ridiculous. The funny part, we all know the words and probably sing all the choruses. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
not just
that's
all rock and roll and metal and punk in our world.
yeah, that's like taking a road trip with the family, and like I'll drive, and she usually it's driver picks the music, but I don't care. I'll listen to anything.
Yeah,
So my wife's playlist goes on, and I know all the words.
yeah, absolutely.
Like Backstreet Boys song will come
Oh,
on, and
that's right.
I
Yeah.
want it that way,
Tell
and
me
I'm just
why.
right.
Hey, we pull up behind a venue, man. It might be a big giant metal festival or something, but there's a good chance you're going to hear Hall and Oates cranking out our window.
Oh man, that's wicked. Yeah, I don't want to take up your whole night, so I
Yeah,
just
man, I got so much to do.
it's early
this
where
one
you
I'm
are.
leaving. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but thank you so much, man, for
Oh,
for
it's
for
all good,
doing this.
bro.
And
So before you go away, what kind of sticks are you using of the Los Cabos brand, and how did you meet?
oh, no one's ever turned the tables
See
on
how
me
I spin this?
before.
Hey, this is what I do.
Fellow Los Cabos artist,
Hmm.
a brother of ours, Warren Beatty from St. John.
Hmm.
I was doing a run of blues gigs with the Terry Whalen Band. It's a blues musician from around here.
Awesome.
So I was playing like some festival gigs, and he's playing with Warren's playing with the Kendra Gale Band, which is they were a blues duo at the time.
Yep.
And so we crossed paths on the festival. So I met him there. Terry and Kendra already knew each other, but anyway, so I met Warren, and he was using Los Cabos drumsticks, and he kind of showed them to me, and I was, because I'm always, drummers will nerd out with other drummers about, oh, what snare are you using, and
Hmm.
what ride is that, and what stick, what's in your stick bag. So
Yeah.
anyway, he showed me the Los Cabos stuff, so I was like, okay, cool. So I made a note of it, and then I went to Long and McQuaid, and I picked up a couple pairs of 5B Intense Red Hickory
Yep.
because I heard about the Red Hickory. So I started playing with those. I liked them. And then, so I started using those for a while. And then I went to White Hickory. same stick. And then I went to the rock stick, which is what I have here.
Wow, yeah.
And they're white dipped.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's not coming out on the camera. It's just a big glaring white light.
Yeah, yeah. What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Yeah, you got better lighting than I do.
Yeah.
So, but then right now I'm using a straight up 5B.
Five Bs, yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking about trying the 2Bs because I went to Long and McQuaid
Yeah.
just the other day, just shopping around. So I'll pick up a pair of 2Bs. They had some
Yeah.
maples, so I was kind of playing around with that. But I think I'm gonna go back to the rock. But I don't know, like you were talking about your snare, how it is it more of a crack versus
I feel
a
rather than a thud.
yeah.
And it feels good to me. Something about it just feels like I'm getting a really nice crack out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think I'd be using 5/8. I didn't think I'd be, this getting smaller on the sticks. But just when I actually hear the sound of it and the way that it feels, and not the fatigue, I guess, just, I mean, we ain't getting any younger, we ain't. And
Well, that's why I went from rock to 5B because I
Mhm.
was in rehearsal prepping, we were doing pre-production for our album and we were in the rehearsal room and I'm playing, these 5 or 6 punk songs in a row with the rock sticks and I'm like, okay guys, let's time out.
Yeah,
Like I gotta take a break or I gotta get
punk
some more
ballad.
sticks. Yeah. Can I just do something with the bass drum for like
Yeah,
half a
that's
song?
right. Yeah.
So yeah, I went down to 5Bs and I find like I'm able to play like a full hour set without, having to shake out the dead arms or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, I like the
So
way the 5/8 sounds on the snare, but I love the way it sounds on the hi-hat.
mhm,
And it's just crystal clear. Like if I'm going to do like an 8th or 16th or something in between while I'm playing, and I play my hi-hat quite high because I play my hi-hat with my left hand probably half the amount of time, just some pure laziness because I hate crossing over a lot. So I end up sitting there playing like this all the time.
yeah,
Which is why I don't have too many drums behind me. I don't really like going this far back. So
yeah,
I've learned to just do stuff this way rather than crossing and turning all the time. I don't want to turn while I'm up there. Just and because my hi-hat is quite high, I get that nice whoosh. But then when I go to do something a little more tasty, I end up, my arms are actually quite high up. So if I'm playing and up here and I do something, I usually end up coming down on it. And with the 5A, it sounds more, it's just more, it's more like loud splashes rather
mhm,
than the gonginess of a big stick. And that
mhm,
might just all be in my mind, but if it feels like that's what it sounds like to me, then that's all I need. That's
yeah,
okay. I'm same way with my cymbals though. I want all my cymbals to sound like big, giant, loud splashes because I don't like gongy cymbals. I don't like gongy chinas. That's why I use Sabian AAX explosions, 18s, 1916s for all my crashes. I have a what's the Chad Smith Holy China because it's like a big
yeah,
splash, not too gongy. But hi-hats and rides, I got the old AA rock ride and hats because those sound big. And I have been, I love that kind of high attack sound. I like the attack sound of everything more than just the big boomy kind of sound. Boom's going to
yeah.
come out there. I want the attack from me. That's what I want to hear when I'm playing. So the 5A was a game changer.
Hmm. You're making me rethink my whole stick game.
Try it out,
I'm
right?
due for an order anyway, so
Yeah, so am I. I was just sitting there thinking, man, I got a bunch of shows that are coming. And I looked at my stick box. I was like, oh, damn.
oh damn, Phil, what's
Yeah.
going
Hey,
on?
man. Hey, anyways, yeah, it's last minute Chiko again on the West Coast here.
Yeah, just send them to where I'm gonna be.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think
Yeah.
that's what my neighbor Pat, who plays in the Brian Adams band, and Pat, who I remember used
You're
to come
neighbors with Pat
upstairs.
Stewart?
Yeah, and when
Oh
Pat
shit.
he used to come upstairs all the time, and we just hang out, have a couple, and he goes, "What sticks are you using, man?" And I showed him, and then he goes, "I gotta contact these guys." And so it's kind of funny because, like I say, sometimes you just talk to guys about sticks or gear or what have you, and
Yeah.
And it's not like you're pushing something, because I'm not
No.
pushing. It's just you get excited about certain amounts of gear.
Yeah.
And everybody does it. And I think that's the beauty of drummers in general. We talk about our gear and what we got. We're not guitar players. I'm not gonna turn around while I do the slick so you don't see what I'm doing. Put a towel over my pedal board.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some guitar players are like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But drummers, I find as a community, above any other, guitarist community, bass player community, whatever, drummers you're like instantly brothers or sisters with the other drummer in the
It's
band.
kind of crazy, isn't it?
It's such a weird thing, and I don't think the other musicians get that.
Yeah, it's so true. It is so true. We went out on a run opening for Buck Cherry halfway across Canada a couple of years ago. It's just at the end of COVID, I think. And I was like, this is going to be great. Of course, we didn't start in Vancouver, my hometown. We started in Alberta.
Mm-hmm.
So we started in Alberta. And the first day, I remember we went to, sound check and stuff. They were done. We got up and did sound check, and the drummer Francis. And first time I met him, hey man, I'm Chiko, and hey man, I have you guys on the tour. And I was like, man, that's a beautiful kit. Right away, he's like, yeah, awesome, come on, check it out. We set up and hit that. Isn't that wicked? And showed me all his feisty symbols and this and that. I'm just like, guitar players that do that, they cover everything up. Yeah, thanks, man. Walk away. Don't let that guy give my pedal board.
Yeah, I like your tone. Yeah, it's my tone. Fuck off.
It's mine. Yeah, beat it. So yeah, I think that was it's kind of different, but I've tried different things. Like I want to get into a little bit more electronics. Like I'm looking at some new Roland pads, because I'm still, sending out tracks. I got the whole rig and I'm sending out tracks, because we don't take a keyboard player with us here, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm looking at new things. So I start messaging drummer. I think I messaged Miles, who was with he's a couple of bands. I think he's with Arkells right now. And so I messaged him, hey man, I saw some Roland stuff. What were you using? And he's like, oh, sends you a whole bunch of stuff. Try this SPX, Pro and this and that. And and then I start to realize we go out a lot. We're always out with Big Rack or with Kim Mitchell, and we're off and everyone's using the same thing. I'm like, I think that's the thing I'm gonna go. But it's so nice that you can go play 3 shows on a tour somebody and be able to message somebody and go, hey man, I'm thinking of going to electron, and you get this whole list back. Hey man, you should try this, and this is what I do, and this is where I go, and it's a different deal, right?
Yeah. I did that just the other week with Drumheads.
Yeah.
We're talking, because I'm using Remos, and a buddy of mine was using I think Evans, and we're both kind of coming to this crossroads of maybe we should both switch to Aquarian, because
right. Let's try something different.
They're like half the price, and it's like there's some big names that are using them, and they're just as good, and so it's like but I'm a Remo guy at heart, so it's kind of hard to make that switch. Like but
I've gone old school. I've gone back to Remo pinstripes, like where I started, and I love them.
I've got I had pinstripes, and then just before we recorded, I reskinned the whole kit with the old black dots.
Oh yeah.
Because nice. I usually don't have resonant heads. I'm usually just the one,
wide open. Old school Van Halen. See, there you go.
Old school, man. Right? Or like Marky Ramone, in the old Rogers kit with the one drum head.
Yeah.
Or my favorite drummer.
Was there lugs on the bottom, or there wasn't even lugs, and you just didn't have heads on it? Yeah. So oh wow.
Yeah, like my favorite drummer for a while now has been Joey Castillo.
Oh yeah, he's badass.
He's always doing just the one tom with one skin.
A lot of guys are doing that with their little concert toms and stuff. Like Taylor Hawkins is here. Like a lot of guys have the little open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Castillo's doing a 15 and a 20-inch tom and a 26-inch kick. Wow. He doesn't have any reso heads. Wow. He does on the kick drum, but like that's like you can see the big mic boom stand up into the drum, and I just love that sound, man. Like
it's old school looking too. Like you're looking at old Vanilla Fudge or something bands from
like Ian Pace, like
like Ian Pace. Oh, that's awesome. Well, so but you're at 2Bs now.
I'm at 5Bs now.
5Bs now.
Yeah.
Try the 5As, man. I love the. Here's me. This is the drummer's mind. I loved the 55 AB. Mm-hmm. Something about it felt really good in the middle, and I'm like, I like these a lot. I was like, can I get those in white dip? And they're like, actually, those are the only ones we don't do white dip. I said, okay, fuck it, go to 5A. part of it's something still comes back. They'll kiss. It's part of the show.
Yeah.
I would change everything because that's part of the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the white dips, is like, because the 5Bs that I have like my,
Yeah.
Andre whatever on it, but I didn't get them dipped because
Right.
it was kind of a rush order.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna place an order and actually be like, okay, get the signature on it, get them white dipped. I'm gonna go Chiko style. Yeah.
Just go full on. We did a BIF the new video, which I mean will be out in a while whenever the album comes out. But we did a vid for one of the tunes on there already. And when I look back at it's not released yet, but when I look back, I was like, damn, those sticks look good. Dark room, great lights, white sticks, and I'm just like, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. If we ran out of white paint, I'm done. Go back to a guitar. Will you still need me? When I'm 64, I'm going back to acoustic.
Oh, wicked. Again, that's awesome.
Excellent.
Cool. Thank you again for.
Oh man, it was all good. It was a lot of
man.
fun, dude. A lot of fun.
I enjoy it. So this will come out in a few weeks, and I can't wait to hear that new Biff album, especially if it's half of what you say it is, man.
Dude, it's gonna surprise some people, but obviously, I think it's awesome. But
are you guys coming out to the East Coast anytime soon?
I'm not too sure. Dates are just kind of starting to pile up.
Yeah, because the Avenir Center in Moncton is a great venue, but also the Casino New Brunswick has an awesome concert hall.
Nice.
I think Buck Cherry played there.
Awesome.
Slash and Miles Kennedy played there.
Oh, nice.
It's a great room. Yeah. If you don't have any of those spots, hit up your tour manager and see what's up.
Absolutely. I think next year is probably going to be a lot busier for us because really it was a time to get the documentary finished and the documentary to be done before the album comes out, because the machine keeps going over there. I ask a question every once in a while, I get an answer. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm good.
Where do I have to be? Okay.
Yeah, just let you send, Chiko, here's your flight. That's really what I got. I'm good with that. Yeah, but if we do, I'd love to head out. We went to Ingonish, I think. We're in Fredericton.
Yeah.
And then we went to Ingonish Beach or something. We played a Pride there last year on the Cabot Trail or something in Newfoundland.
Down in Halifax, in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, Nova Scotia. But in Newfoundland, we did Iceberg Alley or something a couple years ago.
Okay.
Iceberg, I don't know. That's a big wreck, and a bunch of people played out there.
Well, if you come back to Fredericton, hit me up and we'll go hit up the Los Cabos factory.
Outstanding.
We'll go hang out with Phil.
Grab a couple road beers and we'll head over.
Yeah. I'm
down. Excellent.
But no Taylor Swift in the car.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah. Don't worry, I'll bring my Doobie Brothers remix album.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thanks again, man. This was awesome.
Okay, man, it was all good. Thank you. We'll talk to you. Hopefully see you on that coast.
All right. Again, I can't thank you enough for watching this little podcast. I have many more episodes on the way, and with more amazing people from the Los Cabos Drumsticks family. So stay tuned for the next episode, which is bi-weekly. And of course, thank you again, Chiko, for being such a great guest. And I really look forward to catching up, hopefully next time in person. Okay, so I'm going to have all the social media tags linked in the description for Chiko, Stars Unhinged, and of course, BIF Naked, and all the Los Cabos Drumsticks links as well. So with that, this week's episode is now over. So until the next one, take care of yourselves and each other. All right. Bye.